Alexee Trevizo. Whoa. Is she a murderer? Or is she a victim? Let's find out. Hello everyone, it's me, Dee Sparta, and welcome to my channel. Oh, my friends, we have got a case here, true crime, that I am not looking forward to, but I have seen things about it, and there's a lot of questions, and perhaps we can get some answers through some tarot reading. First off, I just want to see, how are you all doing? Are you guys doing okay? I'm hanging in here. I am. But it's good to be here and it's good to be recording, and I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, why not? Just go ahead. Click that little button. Also, give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and comment down below what other true crime videos you'd like me to cover. Also, what are your thoughts on this case of Alexee Trevizo? There is a whole lot going here. In case you are not familiar, I will go into some more details, but Alexee Trevizo is a 19-year-old woman whom was still in high school. She was a senior, a cheerleader, and she claims that she did not know that she was pregnant when she was brought to the hospital for back and hip pain. The child was later found in the trash can at the hospital bathroom, and the child did not live. There are a lot of questions, and a lot has happened, and a lot of people have a lot of things to say. So if you want to hear a little bit more about this case and my thoughts and opinions on it, stick around. Or if you just want to jump straight to the psychic tarot reading, go for it. All right? Whew, let's get into this. All right, welcome back, and thank you for sticking around. Woohoo! Alexee Trevizo. As I mentioned, yes, she's a 19-year-old cheerleader, as a senior in high school, when she gave birth to a baby in the hospital bathroom. Questions. Now, she was living with her parents at the time, and she, like as I said, was still in high school at the age of 19. There's also questions about why is that so, and that may play into the defense for Alexee Trevizo. Now, questions that people have been asking are, did Rosa, Alexee's mother, know that she was pregnant, or was she even suspicious of this? There are questions. Was Alexee afraid to tell her mom the truth, and why? The charge nurse noted the dynamic between the mother and daughter. It was very concerning. However, it is not uncommon occurrence, as he said, the charge nurse said, that a girl denies having sex when she's at the hospital in front of her parents. This is a normal occurrence, unfortunately. And the fact that this is normal is very concerning and problematic, and it's something that needs to be resolved. And I can't help but wonder why they did not have the mom leave since she was 19. We'll get into this. Now, there is been I got so much to here to go in. She had been dating Devin Fierro for about 2 years. He is allegedly the father of this child. It was a baby boy. Some facts to know about Alexee before she came into the hospital. The mother, Rosa, has stated and claimed that she was beaten during pregnancy while she was pregnant with Alexee, and that Alexee had been born premature and there were issues. And some of the issues that she talks about are Alexee's hips and back. These have been issues with this child since they were born. They've had to go to a chiropractor, trying to keep everything in a line. Things in her spine was not straight. Did this mean that she had scoliosis? There are different things. I was curious. What exactly is the health conditions? But with HIPAA, we're not supposed to know about this stuff, right? Yeah, and unless, in trial and something like this, or the patient agrees to discuss and share this. So, Rosa was like, this is normal, and Alexee, she could get very constipated. There were different things. And at the same time, if I'm wondering if she was premature, was there any concern about her mental well-being? And is this why she was 19? Was she held back? Was, at school before? Was there some kind of known possible learning disability? Something going on. Okay. Now, Alexee originally was brought to the hospital due to her back pain. She had been on the phone according to her boyfriend, a lot the night before, complaining about hip pain and back pain. Okay. And she had also complained to her mother about said hip pain and back pain. And because it was getting worse, she was brought to the hospital. When she was there, it is very routine when you're out to get treated, any kind of medical treatment, to ask, are you pregnant? Could you be pregnant? And this is to protect the child, to protect you, because if they do something, so there's no malpractice, that nothing happens that shouldn't. So, they came, and the mother and daughter both insisted that she could not be pregnant, that she was not sexually active. Okay. Now, they did say that they still should take a test just to make sure. And that is probably because, as I mentioned earlier, the charge nurse did state that this was common, that teenage girls have been to the hospital insisting that they couldn't be pregnant because there is fear that their parents' reaction. And I get that. Understand that fear very well. Very well. I grew up with that under that pressure, and my parents kicked me out of the house when I found out I was pregnant with Kyle. I gotta tell you, there's a reason why people are afraid, and all this shaming a woman for being pregnant has got to stop. These fears lead to very traumatic situations, such as what we're dealing with here. You see, they went ahead and tested and knew that she was pregnant. However, They never told her nor her mom. Now, you have to remember, she is 19 years old, who she is considered legally an adult, and the parent doesn't have to be in there. And the hospital could have intervened and escorted, tried to escort her away from the daughter so they can talk to her and be like, we know you're pregnant. We want to help you. That did not happen. And Alexee's attorney, Mitchell, has made this clear that this is a concern because the hospital did not act on this. When Alexee then said as she was in there, that she really had to go to the bathroom really, really bad. And footage shows her running to the bathroom holding her butt. And she's scurrying in there. The hospital shouldn't have known that she could be in labor at that time. And I will explain to you, if you do not understand, when you go into labor and when you're about to deliver, let me tell you, you feel like you're about to take a huge shit. When I went into labor, I remember with my son, that was my first child, and I was trapped on the freeway in a snowstorm trying to get to the hospital, and I felt like I had to shit. That's how I knew I was about to deliver this child. And I was freaking out, and I was in the car trying to hold it in, and let me tell you, that's what it feels like. You are about to just... that happens, okay? That is a body reaction that they should have monitored. They should have paid attention. Instead, they would knock on the door. Are you okay? Insisting, are you okay? While she was in the bathroom, and she kept saying, I'm fine. I'm just having a hard time here going to the bathroom. And it wasn't until later that, she was still in there for a while, that they then got a key and opened up the door, where they were to find her trying to clean up a bloody mess that was just, blood was smeared on the back wall, on the floors. The trash can, though, appeared clean. It looked like nothing was in there. That just seems really odd that they just ignored the trash can, and the nurse in charge thought maybe she had done something to herself, was trying to cause a miscarriage. There was a lot of different concerns they said they have over her health, and I've watched the video, and folks, it doesn't look good for anyone involved. Rosa, the mother, when she found out that her daughter had gotten pregnant and was pregnant, freaked out. She was very upset, and she couldn't believe it. She was shocked. Her reaction did cause to the point where the charge nurse did have to step in and say the mother needs to leave while she calms down. Now, when they were cleaning, they had housekeeping in the bathroom cleaning up this mess. And when she went to move the trash can, she noticed that it was heavy. So she called the nurses in to take a look for help. And the charge nurse was in there, and it was like, oh, the trash can's clean. There's a clean liner in there. And she's like, no, it's heavy. And so when he went to pick it up, he noticed also that this is heavy. What's in here? When they lifted the liner, on top there was bunched up liners and lots of bloody paper towels. And when they removed those, they found a child in a bag, in one of the trash bags. Yeah, tied up in there. And the child, they realized that they could not resuscitate. Is what they're saying. When they found the child, it was too late. They couldn't try and resuscitate, so they did not take any steps to resuscitate. This was their understanding. They went back to the girl and they ended up getting the police, but they explained that this is a really serious situation. And Alexee looks in a state of shock, kept saying it did nothing. It did nothing when as she explained, giving birth. And some people find that as an admission of guilt because she did not address this as a child, that the baby did not react. If she did not know she had been pregnant and all of a sudden this happened, she would not have that connection. So there is a possibility where she, trying to figure out what the heck's going on and being overwhelmed, it's like she hasn't bonded with this child. And some people would say, well, that means that she would have killed the child. But she didn't bond because she honestly did not believe that she could be pregnant. She was probably hoping she wasn't. There's all sorts, we don't know. She could have wondered. And just, they are investigating her Google searches and text messages. And students at her high school have said there was a few weeks before she gave birth, they were kind of like, are you okay? You've gained weight. Are you pregnant? There were suspicions. And she could have been suspicious. She might not have known how long, technically, she was pregnant for, and was probably very afraid to say something to her mother, who seemed to be very, they keep saying having a very close relationship, which could be code for mom was a helicopter parent, mom was abusive mentally, controlling and manipulative. Some people said that Alexee, she could turn on and off. She'd be super nice to you and then she's not. Some people felt that she would use people, or she was, the students have a lot of crazy things to say. Some people who don't understand someone who's an introvert, or maybe someone who's autistic or has ADHD, they're going to be different in how they react and if they're comfortable in situations. So that seems normal. Some people said that she thought she was just so much better than everyone and that she was the best cheerleader. And it sounds to me a little bit of jealousy could possibly be involved, and maybe she was really good. And when, from the video, I would say, yeah, she looked very good. She looked like she was very talented. That's not a question, I would say. But you do have to understand that we are talking to high school kids whom, well, are not necessarily nice to people who are not like them. Okay. Now, the charge nurse and some of the other staff kept saying nobody asked how the baby was doing, what was the sex of the baby, and I'm just gonna say something that what I noticed was, first of all, Alexee would not have asked, because Alexee knew. It would have been odd for her to have asked. They'd been like, didn't you notice? Either way, she's screwed. The doctors were not very forthcoming with details and kept saying, we were waiting for the police to come and we can talk more about this. The mother did ask an officer, and I saw the one, should I be getting an attorney for my daughter? Does she need a lawyer? Well, I can't tell you. This is what cops always say. I can't tell you what you should do. That's up to you. And it makes it feel like, well, the way that is, that can push someone away like, do I really need a lawyer? something. Is she going to be charged with something? Do they think she killed? What is going on that they're not disclosing? And my wife, who was an attorney and worked for the public defender's office, is like, always ask for a lawyer. Always, always, because cops don't want that lawyer there. They'd prefer you feel comfortable with them and feel like, oh, you're admitting guilt, or because you're asking for an attorney, okay? So there's these things. Family could be in a lot of shock also at this time. The boyfriend was there. He's with his mom. He is probably terrified. He may have been suspicious, thinking, I think you're pregnant. But you just, he, all of a sudden they're looking at him as, well, we need to know the next kid. But if you're the boyfriend, you could be the father. And I think he's 18 at the time. So yeah, and this was in January 27th of 2023, this year, okay, when all this started happening. So yeah, things are not looking good for Alexee. People do not like Rosa and how she's reacting. At the same time, she is being very protective of her daughter, and she did blame the hospital and the police for this situation happening, for them not intervening, for them, why didn't you do, and she was, asked to leave. There's so much, everyone's perspective and why they were reacting, you cannot say what was the right way and what was the wrong way to react, because different people react differently in situations compared to you. And you have to sometimes get a bigger picture and understand the situation. Rosa is probably very protective of her daughter. She almost lost her daughter also because she had been pregnant and beaten, and Alexee was a preemie baby, did come early, and had health issues, which could also come into play with why, Alexee ended up giving birth in the bathroom. Maybe she didn't realize, she thought she just had to take a shit. And so when she was in the bathroom and the baby started coming, that probably freaked her the fuck out. Even if she knew she was pregnant, that still would freak her out. Okay, so her panic, she said the baby didn't cry. Now, here's something very key. The charge nurse and those in the nurse's station and physicians in the area said there were no sounds coming from the bathroom. I said there were no sounds coming from the bathroom. She had not been screaming in pain, and she, there was no sound. You heard no crying from a baby. There was no baby cry. She apparently ripped the umbilical cord from herself, to detach the baby from her. And it looked shredded, and it was interesting how she said it looked like an animal tore it apart. And then she's like, well, it's like if you twist string cheese and you pull it. Umbilical cords are tough. You can't just cut them. Those kind of little statements are kind of manipulative, because you are insinuating that she was behaving as an animal and not as a human being who was in a flight or fight moment and panicking and has probably led a very sheltered life and under a lot of fear and pressure from parents, and to be the good girl. Oh, I know what that's like. I do. Now, people have been very judgmental. Alexee was not charged, and so she was able to go home and finish and go back to school, and she went to prom. People were like, oh, she's all smiles at prom, like nothing's happened, like she has no worries. You know, honey, I'm sitting here and I could be smiling, and I am in so much pain. People always, Dee, you always are smiling. I've smiled through the pain and the suffering. And it is what you're expected to do. You know, guys like to have got this thing with a girl going, come on, just smile. Why aren't you smiling? You know, you're prettier when you smile. You get conditioned to smile in the face of fear, trauma, and pain. So, you might wonder why she was smiling instead of walking around and looking like Wednesday Addams, maybe? I mean, what do you expect? Now, it wasn't much time after prom that Alexee was charged in May with first-degree murder, or it's alternating to abusing a child resulting in death and tampering with evidence after secretly delivering a baby boy in the bathroom at Artesia General Hospital on January 27th. Now, Artesia, New Mexico, this is a small town of like 1,200 people. This reminds me of when I would go and visit up my folks and family up in John Day, Oregon. It is those towns, they're tiny ass little towns. Often everybody knows everybody's business, everybody's involved, and yeah. I just now, she was arrested and booked on May 10th, but she was released and permitted to finish school without an ankle monitor, nor was she on house arrest. She was permitted to graduate high school, but she did not attend the ceremony with her peers. Her trial is set for October 2nd of 2023. Yes, there is an autopsy report that I'd like to discuss. What they found of baby John Doe. Wow, I'm about to choke here. Hold on. So it was observed that there was no physical harm, bruises on this child. Now, they do say that air was present in the lungs and stomach, so they are suggesting that the baby was alive after she gave birth. Now, there's no signs of bruising or anything being held, but they're saying the baby could have been suffocated. How? We don't know. There is nothing physical showing that, that she did something to cause this. So then the attorney is pointing this out. He wants to have other experts look at the reports and see if this child actually was born alive or was it stillborn. They're saying because there was no decaying tissue, there was nothing there were different things. They're saying it couldn't have been. But the cause of death is attributed to oxygen deprivation in a confined environment And so they have classified the manner of death as homicide. Now, here's a few things to note. The charge nurse kept saying, I wasn't given a chance to save this baby. I wasn't given a chance to save this baby. And I was seeing him. He seemed mad about this. And I'm like, you did have a chance. And you blew it. You knew something was wrong. And you knew she wasn't well. You knew she was fucking pregnant and in a bathroom, and you were concerned that she could have been doing something to harm herself, and you didn't get in there sooner. Oh, wow, I didn't know I had that anger in me. Holy moly. I know he probably struggled with, another person had, they keep a key of the bathroom there at the nurse's stations at their desk. And he was like, let someone else do it. Another woman, a female nurse. And I get that because he's a male nurse. And it could be, him walking in on a woman in a bathroom. People would get upset. And, it would be considered inappropriate. But is it really inappropriate for him if he knew there was danger? Wouldn't you rather him step in? Wow, it just blows my mind. Now, it is something to consider that this hospital is one of the safe havens for mothers to drop off a baby anonymously, and the child would then be put away for adoption, and there would be no charges of abandonment on this parent. Some people wonder why Alexee didn't call for help when she was giving birth in the bathroom. Why didn't she? Why did she feel she had to hide it? Why? Why was it so quiet? Why? What happened? Some people have made note of Rosa and her behavior and not being very cooperative when police came to arrest Alexee. They had a search warrant also. She was insisting on knowing what Alexee was being arrested for. You gotta remember, Alexee, though in high school and living under her parents and their authority, which you can see they are very much in charge of her and do not treat her as a 19-year-old adult, she keeps trying to, say no, and she keeps being told by the police. In fact, when she came back from the bathroom and she had been bleeding, and she tried to say that she was on a period, and they were like, we know you were pregnant. They wanted to have an officer there with them when they told the mother and daughter together that she was pregnant. Why? And then the doctor had to be reminded by the charge nurse that, because she was like, we need your we need your permission for her. We need to treat her. We don't know where the placenta is. She could be bleeding out. We want to make sure she doesn't die. We want to try, make sure her life is safe. And the charge nurse says, she's 19. She doesn't need the mother's permission. You need to ask her. And the mother tried to interview, but no, I'm the mom. She lives with me. It didn't matter. And the doctor stepped up and was like, you're right. She's 19. I need and she looked to Alexee, I need your permission. Can I get you out of here? There was another hospital that she could be airlifted to be treated and to save her life. It's like the doctor says she had forgotten that she was dealing with a 19-year-old. And that's why she was asking, permission and had to be reminded. So, once again, Rosa's being reminded, no, she's 19. We don't have to tell you in this. And, they finally get Alexa and she is taken away. Rosa said something that people are also being very judgmental of. I'm just going to tell you what she said. If she asked the police if they could make sure, these are her words, okay? That allegedly these are her words. If they could make sure that she's separated from other people because of what they will do if they find out what Alexee did or what people think she did. The fact that she put in what Alexee did or what people think she did makes them think, oh, mom knows she killed the baby. And I see this more as, we know that Alexee gave birth in a bathroom at the hospital. Ooh, she should have been and tried to hide it, which seems ridiculous. But when you're in a moment, and if you do have any kind of trauma reaction, that you just become overwhelmed and you do not make the most rational or wisest decisions. And she panicked, apparently, allegedly, and made a very bad decision and tried to hide that she had the baby. She was scared. She appeared scared. She appeared nervous. She was very worried about anyone finding out she was pregnant. Where was this fear coming from? Was this because of how she was raised and her parents' expectations, or maybe even the community's expectations on young women? The mother did have a real reason to be concerned, because Alexee, in a situation like that, locked up people who think, do not take well to those who harm children in any way. And she is being charged with murder. So, yeah. Now, Alexee is home. And like I said, she is waiting for her trial in October. Her attorney has been coming out speaking up about these issues about women and the poor treatment of women, young girls who are pregnant. Talks about that allegedly the hospital has violated HIPAA by releasing information about Alexee's medical conditions. And because of it, they were there and did nothing, they could be charged with malpractice. Now people are saying that, prosecution is going over her Google searches and text messages. I mentioned this before because they think they could reveal that Alexee knew she was pregnant. I don't think that would be a definitive revealing. I know when I get curious, I know when I was like, am I pregnant or not, without taking a test, Google, is this a symptom of pregnancy? Is this not? If I'm sick or worried about something, what do? We turn to Google. We could be texting our partner, Hey, could this be? Am I sick? Do I have this? Am I pregnant? Do I have cancer? Is there something more to my condition? This is normal reaction to Google. It doesn't mean she knew she was pregnant. She was probably searching because she didn't know. She was concerned. There could have been a concern and a fear, and she didn't know what to do. She might not have known about the hospital being a safe haven. She may not have known that she could give birth and turn the baby over to this hospital. She may not, because how was this information readily available? Do I know of any hospitals here in Idaho that would be considered safe haven? No. Are there? There could be. You know what? I go Google this right now as we're here. Here, let's see here. Safe Haven Hospital in Boise, Idaho. Okay. Hmm. I am having a hard time finding this information. What I do find is a hospital that's called Safe Haven, but it's for mental health patients, inpatient and outpatient psychiatric care. Sure, but uh-huh. There is a crisis line to call I'm finding, but it was like underneath so much other stuff. Find a safe haven location. Looking for Idaho. You have 30 days. Interesting. It really differs from state to state, and I'm looking at here. There is a restriction. The baby has to be under 30 days. This child can be relinquished. And in Idaho, safe haven providers are any on-duty staff member at a hospital, fire station, physician's assistant, nurse, midwife, nurse practitioner, emergency medical service providers, and EMS. Okay, folks, this is what I'm going to say. We need to bring more awareness about the safe haven laws out there for women. Okay? We really do. Because I wasn't even, you hear about, but is it really legal? What are the laws? What could she legally done? Would she have been able to find out? Is this something she would have even thought of? If you're not aware of it, let's just put this out here. Okay? I think these are things we need to be concerned about. And instead of teaching abstinence and only abstinence, we need to realize that when someone hits puberty, they can be sexually active. Their bodies are like curious, and there's a lot of, and so instead of saying, don't do anything, you need to be afraid of this. This is bad. This is a bad feeling. Remember, our Creator, our God, they created us to have orgasms so that sex is pleasant. So if you believe in all that, when we evolved and as we've changed, our bodies grow up, and why don't we hit puberty later in life if you're supposed to be abstaining? I mean, there's so many questions I have. Do I teach my kids to abstain? No. I teach my kids how to have a safe, healthy sex life if they choose to, and to understand what consent is, and to never force anything on another person. This is what I teach my children. I teach my children about safe sex. Instead of not telling them anything, instead just saying this is taboo and this is something you should be afraid of. This is our bodies. This is natural. This is our natural growth. And yeah, getting pregnant when you're young and you're still in high school, That is scary. Should we make it safer for women and make it more normal for this to accept that it's not bad, that they're not evil, that they should be given special treatment to be able to still finish? This should be allowed. They should be punished and be kept away. God damn it. They should be aware that there are places they can go to turn a child over once if they give birth, and they are panicking, that they can put a child up for adoption. And also abortion. I'm not talking about third trimester abortions. That is never what happened. That is not what happened. Abortion needs to be there in case of health reasons. A woman shouldn't be punished for miscarrying and be considered, well, maybe you forced this miscarriage, maybe you did something, it's your fault, and all. You could go to jail and be said you killed this child. This is ridiculous. I think we need to get into the tarot reading. I don't know what this girl thought. I don't know where their mind is. I don't know if she's this vindictive killer and we should be concerned. I'm not getting that vibe. But this is something we should look into, right? And I know I went on a little preachy and I did say a lot of things that you may not agree with. And that's okay. If you choose life like I did, I was being pressured into having an abortion and I chose not to. But that was my choice. And I am grateful that I had the choice. And I chose to be a single mom and give birth to my little dude. And I was planning on raising him all on my own. But that was my choice. And I was in my 30s at the time. Okay? So, yeah. I just think we shouldn't shame women for decisions that they need to make. I think we should be valued and cherished. I think we should be seen not as these little vessels that you could breed with, or someone serves to be subservient to you and take care of all your stuff and pop out all these babies and be forced to take care of them because you have other things you're supposed to do. A relationship is teamwork. A family is a teamwork. You gotta work together. You gotta learn what each other's strengths and weaknesses are and figure out, okay, so if you're better at this, why don't you handle this in the family and I'll do this. And there should be no shame in not having this patriarchy. Yeah. There's a lot to think on. I'm sorry. If you're still here, let me know. Let me know. All right, let's get to that tarot. Whoo, 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 whoo. Okay, everybody, we're going to get into this reading. I am very nervous. I don't know exactly what we're going to see. Remember that this is all alleged and for entertainment. We make these videos. I also am not doing this to exploit this young girl, but I want to bring awareness and to help her and help other young women who are in situations where they could be afraid. Fear is scary. Awesome. Just a whole bunch of cards. Let's try this again here. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Swords reversed, And the Knight of Wands. Do we know when Alexee was born? I want to look at something here. Alexee. Treviso. Birthday. She was born in 2004. Is that all we know? We don't have the exact date. I'm not getting anything. I'm just seeing she was born in 2004, folks. Yeah, there's like, she was a student. She is Hispanic. And that's another thing. She is a person of color being treated by a bunch of white people in this hospital. I'm going to put that out there, folks. I was watching all the body cam footage and such. It's tense, man. But, so, don't know, but this is reversed, the Three of Swords. Unreciprocated love. What? The Knight of Wands. Anger. Impulsive. Oh boy. I need more cards here, but this isn't looking very well for her. She was being oppressed. This is the King of Pentacles reversed over this other card, and who are these two with I don't know how happy of a family life she had there. It's looking bad because Tower and the Knight of Pentacles over the Knight of Wands. I think Alexee was hoping her boyfriend could be her savior. I'm seeing like she was concerned she was pregnant. She didn't know how long, if she was. I think she wanted to graduate. She was hoping. I don't know exactly. I mean, this is things coming undone because of why is all this pentacles and money? How much money did this family have, and were they like worried about reputation? I'm sorry, I'm so thirsty. Ugh. Because this, we got this anger, reckless behavior, and then when we got obsessiveness, boredom, stubborn. I'm like getting a wall. This is really difficult. Because things were falling apart in her home life. Her mom knew. Her mom was very, very suspicious. And I'm seeing Mom confronted her. And she was lying in denial about it. Um, she was hoping Alexee would just come forward and admit to it. And here's what I'm concerned about. Now, if she had been a minor and the parent had concerns about her being pregnant, but didn't do anything to take her to get treatment or get care to find out, she would be the one who could be, for abuse and neglect and reason for this child to die, because they didn't, tell her daughter. I'm seeing her daughter was trying to find out what she could do. Yeah, there's the two lovers. They were delaying a marriage. They wanted to get married. She wanted to get out of that house. Did she have a brother? Her brother is an asshole. Her brother's an asshole. Fuck. At the very beginning, I didn't say anything y'all here, but I felt that there was like some big family secret. Was he more of a stepbrother? Something's off here. Something's off. Because there was a lot of shit going on in that house. The Page of Swords. And bad decisions were being made right and left. I don't think she... She was definitely curious. I think... Ooh! Oh, no. What I'm getting is something very ick happened to her. I think the boyfriend knows. I think he wanted to get her out. He wanted to get her married and away from them. Why was she 19? Something happened, and this has to do with something with the family, with her. Yeah. Okay, the Seven of Cups. She didn't know what to do. She had all these choices before her. She was scared. She was trying to delay things, hoping, maybe this isn't real. Maybe I'm not far along. Maybe this can happen. But she couldn't decide what to do. And then next thing you know, she's in the bathroom giving birth. That had to freak her out. I'm going to put that out there. Too many choices. Scared. Woohoo. And there's the Death card is reversed. This death of this baby was not her intention. Oh, I'll let you know. It was not her intent. This was not supposed... She was wishing people would notice that she needed help. She felt like there was nothing she couldn't go forward, she couldn't go back. It was, I'm here, I need help. And people kept saying, well, she was just lying. Yeah, she was. She was afraid. This year is the Nine of Pentacles reversed. In Nine of Pentacles, there was definitely, she was always okay, I'm just seeing this. Her parents, maybe it's a stepdad, and mom definitely, they would say, you don't appreciate me. You don't appreciate all we do. I think the family was also living beyond their means. They wanted to have a pristine family picture image. They, because it would affect them financially, maybe with their work. I think their parents were so focused on their own problems that they really did not pay attention to Alexee going on. Alexee was trapped. Here's the Eight of Swords. She was definitely trapped here, folks. And I see Rosa was very overprotective of her. Because of her own experiences, Rosa is a victim of domestic violence. She could be child abuse. And I think there was this wanting to protect, and her way of protecting was to, like, trap her. Oh boy. So, yeah, the 10 of Wands here, up in flames. She was definitely overwhelmed, and she had too much stress. She freaked. She freaked out. Didn't know what to do. She freaked. She panicked. She'd been trapped, and she thought this was the end. Okay, so the Two of Wands here is reversed, and this is fear. And also has to do with social media. She was Googling stuff and looking up stuff out of fear, trying to figure out what's going on with her body. I don't think her mom, maybe at school she was getting some sex ed. I wonder if she was allowed to go to the course classes. I wonder what the school actually provided for sex ed. I think there's just a lot of confusion. I don't know how she's going to be treated before a jury. Her attorney has a tough case on his hands. Did she panic and kill the little baby? I just don't see that as an intention. It's not an intention I'm seeing here at all. I just see a scared child who has been abused. Raised up in fear and making some really bad choices. Feeling limited, not knowing that, they could get out. They were still in high school. You gotta remember, she was still in high school and being treated as a minor. And I wonder if there is some undiagnosed mental health disorder. And there is a big family secret. I wonder if Alexee, please forgive me for saying that, the trigger warning, was sexually assaulted and abused, and not by her boyfriend. I think he was afraid of Alexee's parents. I am really curious. There is so much more to learn. There's so much more about this case, and what I do hope is that the truth does come out. That justice is served. And when I say justice is served, doesn't mean I think that she's guilty and needs to be charged and, for these different under these circumstances. I think, and I'm not saying that she should be set free. There needs to be some accountability on her behalf. I think there's accountability in the parents. I think the hospital has some accountability. This is a very messy situation. This isn't like she was at home, gave birth, killed the child, and then buried it and tried to hide it. She was in a hospital in a situation where they knew she was pregnant and they did nothing until after the fact. Which makes you wonder. I don't know. I'm not feeling this vicious intent to kill. This was not an intent of evil, like, I want to kill this child and see what it's like. Because when I do certain readings, and there are some women out there that, the energy and what I get is, they were killing these children. This was their thing. And I'm not getting that with her. This was a situation out of her hands. Freaked her out. She freaked out. I don't think that there was no malicious intent. I can't see them charging her with first degree murder because it wasn't an intent to kill. I think that would be really, really hard, that she went into the bathroom with an intent to kill the baby. I don't think that was the situation. She was in labor. That's what all the pain was. And the need to shit was pushing the baby out. But we'll find out more. And maybe I'll revisit. I feel like I need to revisit this later. There was a lot of blocks. There is some deep darkness and pain around this family. And it's hard to kind of connect and get. It's like I'm getting picture pieces from their different perspectives, and their perspectives is, maybe the reason why I'm feeling like she didn't have the intent is because that's what she's putting out. That's what she wants people to think, is I didn't have an intent. I don't know. I still don't. I'm very upset and I'm very angry that this happened and we lost this child. I'm not going to say that Alexee is a vile, horrible person because of what happened. I think she also... I think she was a very broken, scared child. And that's what I see. Yeah, I'm going to get hate, aren't I? I'm sorry, folks. I love y'all, and we'll get into some more K-pop readings today. I shall promise y'all.